Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of a brand new series here on the channel. So today, as you can see, we are here in Simbit World. We're going to be starting a brand new pilot career sort of series of full flights, and these will be videos, maybe some live streams as well. Do let me know down in the comments how you'd like me to do it.
On behalf of myself, your captain,
As we get an announcement. Alright, we're back. I just cut out the announcement from the Flubberwire A320 there. But yeah, as you can see, brand new career. Now, just some housekeeping here. It's a brand new account. We are junior first officer with no flights so far. We have signed with Transavia France, and we're going to be going ahead and doing our first flight here today. And that is going to be Porto to Paris Orly, about a 2-hour flight here. And yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to be doing a separate video on Simbit World, so full tutorial and all that good stuff. But today we're just going to be going ahead and doing the flight. So let's jump into Microsoft Flight Sim. We are in the fly-by-wire A320 and let's go. Alrighty, here we are in the fly-by-wire A320. As you can see here in the Transavia colours. We have got our fuel on board, and we also have all the passengers and all that good stuff on board as well. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you where's Volanta. So as you can see, we're going from Porto. We're going to be flying up through the north of Spain, through France, and into Paris Orly, and we'll be going through the, let's go to briefing here. Alrighty. So if we take a look at the routing here, we're going to be on the Beldu 9 Lima Sid out of here, departing runway 17 today. Then we're going to be arriving at Paris Orly runway 20 on the Lima 9 Whiskey arrival, and I believe it's going to be an RNAV as well. So let's get on with it. So alrighty, batteries on, external power. And I do plan to edit these full flights, so I don't want them too long. Obviously it's not going to be the full 2 hours or anything like that. I'm going to edit crews and stuff like that, but hopefully we can play around with the editing.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vera, and I'm your chief flight attendant. The fasten seatbelt sign is on, so if you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Also make sure your seat back and fold entry are in their full upright position. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instruction card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the function described in the event of an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to receive you. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is prohibited on the entire aircraft, including the lavatory. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory smoke detector is prohibited by law. If you have any question about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight attendants. Thank you.
Alright, so that was one of the announcements that you get with Simbit World. I did let you guys listen to that. I do have the expansion. So I thought I'd let you listen to that one. I'm not going to stop talking over all of them, obviously, otherwise I'm going to be interrupted a lot. But I thought I'd take listen to those, and let's get the APU started here. We did just import the flight plan to SimBrief. Alright, so let's go ahead and start setting up our flight plan. So departure was, as we said, I'm just going to look at Navigraph here. Like I said, we'll be doing a full in-depth video on Simbit World as well. I'll probably release that before this video actually, so a link to that will be in the description if you haven't already seen it. Right, so runway 17, Beld 1, Beld 9 left, not 9 left, 9 Lima. If it's on here, there it is. We'll insert that, and then we'll go Orly. And it's going to be, do we have an ILS here? Nope, so we're going to do RNAV 20 and on the NIM 9 Whiskey We will take a look at the weather as we get approach Orly, and if we need to change this, then we will. Looks like I can't find stuff today. Where is it? There it is. Alrighty, and via Nimmer and no, okay, so we got this. That's perfectly fine. Alrighty, so that's in there. We do have everyone on board. I'm just going to go ahead and check here. So cruise level is at 340. That's perfectly fine. We do have everyone on board. And block fuel, if I take a look at my SimBrief OFP here. So I have SimBrief running on a tablet. I know you guys can't see it, but our block is 5.4. And perf. So we're going to do flaps 1, and we're not going to mess about with flex, we're just going to go full toga, get our performance data there, set this to 340. So yeah, we're going to mess around with how I edit these videos, and I'll listen to your feedback, see what you guys want. If you want longer, shorter videos, do let me know what you prefer in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions. So I'm also going to get the weather, and we are going to be doing this series in both X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Sim. It's just going to depend on the routes in the schedule, what sceneries I have, and yeah, I did get type rated on the A320, as we can see on the whole family, so we can fly the 320 in Microsoft Flight Sim, 321 TOLIS in X-Plane, so that's good. Right, so let me get the weather here. Paris, nope, not Paris, Porto. Weather. And it's going to be QNH 0996, so let's get that set. Good stuff. And we're going to take a look through the flight plan. That PFD is really bright still. Alrighty, so set this to 20. And just make sure there's no discontinuities. There's one straight away there, so we'll get rid of that. Perfect. Do you have FSLTL, FS Realistic, all of that good stuff running. And there's another disco. Right, so we're going to need to get rid of the manual first. Then flight plan discontinuity. Alright, so what's that doing? So we're going from P615. Yeah, okay. I don't know why the ND's drawn it like that. That is a bit strange, but we'll sort that out when it comes to a pretty short final into Paris-Orly. And I think we are all good here then. So we are on live weather, and we did set the sim time to the real life departure slot, or well, just before, so we try and sort of depart on time. So we need some lighting in here. Perfect. Some more lighting. That can go to all as well. And we'll get a little bit of flood as well. Perfect. That's looking good. Alright, I think we're almost ready for pushback here. So let's go ahead and do this then. We have everything on board. We can get rid of the jet bridge. We're on APU now, so APU lead on. External power off. Don't need that. And I'm going to hit Control P. Wrong one. Shift P. To get the pushback truck. If you guys have a good recommendation for the pushback in Microsoft Flight Sim, do let me know. And we do have FSLTL running. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Now, flying this RNAV approach definitely going to be interesting in the fly-by-wire, considering we don't have an RNAV system in this, but I'll probably end up changing it to an ILS as we get closer, depending on the weather. So, Let's get the beacon on, and this can go to TA and auto, and we are now pushing back. So I'm going to release the parking brake, and let's get engine number 2 started first. Alright, looking good. There goes the fuel, and we are going to be trying to get as many points as we can in SimBit World, keep our pilot rating all the way up. Nice FPS here, well over 70 FPS using the frame generation mod. And we'll continue to push back here. And I think maybe we might have to get the Phoenix as well, I think, if we're going to be flying on SimBit World. How about that? Well, this flight on SimBit World does say A320neo, so anyway, let's go ahead and start engine at number 1. Lovely engine startup sound. We're actually going to stop the pushback there. Perfect. And yeah, we'll be getting a proper pushback tool. So engine number 2 is starting now. See how everything's going here on its pilot's life. Everything looks good so far. We'll see what the report says when we land. I do have a nice freeware scenery from flightsim.to for Porto. Looks pretty decent. And let's just get the second engine on, which it is. Very cool. Let's set flaps 1. Perfect, flaps 1 set. Let's arm the speed brake, and we'll get the all of this good stuff on. Weather radar, predicted wind shear, taxi lights, don't need those. Runway turnoffs can go on as well. And I think we're good to taxi. Let's get max auto brake. Release the parking brake and off we go. Get a bit of power here. Make a pretty sharp turn. And we'll taxi on down to runway. Remind myself of the runway. Runway 17. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now request your full attention as the flight attendant demonstrates the safety feature of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. That's in position. If you hear,
Trying to watch our ground speed here. We don't want to exceed 30 knots.
lean forward with your
Otherwise
hand
we will
top
be,
of your head and
we'll
your
lose
elbow
points.
against your thigh. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is located in a push under your seat or between the armrests.
Let's alert the cabin.
When instructed to do so, open the plastic push and remove the vest. Slip it over your head.
Take off, check.
Pass the strap
Done.
around your waist and adjust at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the
Wow,
aircraft.
these announcements are pretty cool. We're getting them in English and French. I did select the French option, considering we are flying for Transavia France.
The end light to attract attention.
So it's very cool.
Also, your seat bottom cushion can
Okay, so here we are about to enter the runway. Let's get the landing lights on, strobe lights and the nose lights as we watch where we're taxiing.
Flight attendant, please prepare for takeoff.
That's very cool. I did turn off the announcements in the fly-by-wire. Just so we don't get overlapping. Let's get transponder on, and I think we're good for takeoff here. Do a quick flight control check. It's all looking good. Nice runway texture. This is a freeway add-on from flightsim.to as well. Very nice. And we need to make sure we don't exceed 20 degrees on the pitch on our takeoff. But looks like we're all good to go. Spool them up to 40%. And slowly spool up. And toga. V1, rotate. Right, pitch up about 15 degrees here, gear up. Lovely stuff. Lovely approach out of Porto. Nice, look at that. Try not to exceed the 20 knots. Alright, first to climb. We're going to fly straight through this weather in front of us, looks like here. We're going to get the flaps up in just a second. As we hit S speed, look at that, does that not look amazing? Right, we'll go flaps up. That looks beautiful as we head into the clouds there. Wow. Right, let's enable the autopilot there. All good. And we're just going to fly this SID out towards... next waypoint is Beldu, after the SID that is. Past through the north of Spain here, well, Portugal even, and then Spain. And we're going to make our way to Paris Orly. Let's set this to standard, and I'll see you in the cruise. Alrighty, here we are with just about 1,000, more like 800 feet to go now, till we reach our top of climb here. And it is very, very, very cloudy. You can barely see the ground. So yeah, there is our cruise coming in there. Flight level 340. There goes the passenger announcement. The announcement even, if I can speak English. So, right, what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave you with some cinematics for about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to see you at our top of descent. Right, here we are back, just about to hit our top of descent here. So I'm going to tune down to 10,000 here, like that, and let's open the descent. So we're doing managed descent. Very, very cloudy, weather is not looking particularly nice into Paris Orly, but that's fine. We're just going to fly down here. We do have a constraint, flight level 130, but we're going to take it nice and easy and descend down into Paris Orly, and I'll see you at around 10,000 foot. And I did decide to change the approach, so we're on the same arrival, our same start, so it's the Limit 9 Whiskey arrival into Paris Orly. we are doing a runway change. It's going to be runway 24 now. So let's go ahead and change that before we get too close. So it's going to be an ILS into runway 24. I decided not to do the RNAV because we don't have the RNAV functionality here in the live wire. So let me just find the... So it's still at NIM 9 whiskey. Perfect. And there's transition. Alright. If we just go to plan mode here, we'll take a quick look at this approach. Just make sure it's all looking good. So we do have this manual section here. Alright, so we're going to leave that in and we will just go manual and we'll vector ourselves onto the ILS. So that's all looking good. I'll see you when we get to 10,000. Alrighty, so here we are at flight level 110. We've got to hold here for just a little bit. But I thought it's a good time to get our performance information into the MCDU for Paris Orly. So I'm going to grab all this information from Navigraph here on my tablet. So QNH is 09090. Temperature is 09. Fairly cold today. Right, wind is variable at 2 knots, so I'm just going to go 000, 00 for now. That's perfectly fine. And minimums for this approach, remember we switched to the ILS, is 385. 385, we'll put that on the barrow, and that's all good. We are, oh, looks like we have some rain here. So yeah, look at the weather, terrible. Terrible. Alright, well, we're holding here flat level 110 for just a little bit longer, and then we're going to continue our descent down to 3000, which is our platform altitude for the ILS into Paris Orly. So I'll see you just as we get established then. Right, so we're about to go to manual, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a heading, and we're going to go to fly 061, which because the runway heading is 241, so we're going to minus 180 off that, fly a nice downwind. Let's get this to 1000 and make a nice descent down to our platform altitude of 3000. So that looks good there. We've got a nice downwind going. We are quite far away from the airport. It's quite wide downwind, so you know what, let's go something like 041. I think that's good. And I also want to add a fix here, so if I go to flight plan, go to the top, and looks like we had a bit of a stutter there, but that's fine. If we go up here, go to fix info, and we're going to put LFPO. Alright, and we're going to go radius of 10. That's brilliant. Now we've got a nice radius here, and we're actually going to we're going to go back to 5-1 just to extend it a little bit, so we can have a bit of an extended base leg onto the ILS. So I actually think let's take over the speed manually as well, and we'll go down to 250. We'll go 240. And I'm going to bring the speed brakes out a little bit. Now we did have to turn on the anti-ice. Now we did have to turn on the anti-ice. Aircraft detected some ice, so...
Ladies and gentlemen, a we start hors descent, please make sure your seat back and the traitable are in fully right position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened.
Right, so we're getting down under 250. And I think we can make this something like that. We are still quite high, so we're going to extend our downwind here. And that's looking good. We're going to extend the downwind just a little bit, since we are a little bit high still. I think actually let's just go open descent. and put the speed brake out to about half. So that's the max for the Airbus, A320 at least. And let the aircraft do its thing. Actually, let's set our QNH, which was 990. Perfect. That's going to help just a little bit. And we need to be at about 3,000 by the time we're at 10 nautical miles away. So we'll make our base turn in just a second. Now, if we do a little bit of maths here, then we are going to have what's it going to be? 331, I believe, as our base heading. I'm going to activate the landing system as well, and let's do this. Let's turn 331. Looks like we're getting some rain, so we're going to set 331 here, just like that, and we'll select 220 here. Get slowed down just a little bit more. We are below the glide slope anyway, so we're looking good there. And since we are below the glide slope, what I am going to do is let's go direct. CF24, where's that center fix? Perfect. That's a nice ILS intercept there. And we are 20 miles out anyway, so that's looking pretty good. What we can do then is let's change it and arrest the descent here just a little bit to minus 1,000 feet per minute. That's perfectly fine, and we're going to update this direct to here in just a second as well. So that's already zoomed in. Just keep updating that so the track is all good, and we do need to be down at 3,000, which we're going to manage perfectly fine. So Navigraph was saying that the wind is variable at 2 knots. We do have a sort of a 30 knot crosswind there. We also look at 3,000, so we'll see what happens. And it says overcast at 3,800 feet, but looks to be the visibility is a lot worse than that. So let's see what this approach is like. It's going to be interesting. First one using SimBit World, a pilot's life. So you can sort of class this as my pilots or me in our career. So first landing. So I think we've got to make it count. That's a very good point. Let's get rid of the speed brakes. We'll actually arm it, and let's put the zoom there to 10 nautical miles, about 15 nautical miles out, so that's perfectly fine. Can see a bit of the ground here. Lovely, lovely scenery, and I think we've set ourselves up for quite a nice approach. Now let's set our auto brake. I'm just going to take a look at the runway chart. So I think we're actually going to go medium. I want to take this, there's a high there's a high speed exit about halfway down the runway. I want to try and take that. I don't want to have a taxi for too long. And I'm going to arm the approach as well. So as soon as we get the localizer, we're going to capture that. There's the localizer coming in nicely there, and we're going to intercept the glide slope from below, which is perfectly fine. We are going to start slowing down to 180 then. I think we should do that now. So set 180. Let's see how things are looking on SimBit World. So saying initial approach. That's perfectly fine. And as soon as we get below that green dot speed, I'm going to set flaps 1. There's a glide slope just coming in there. Right, there's flaps 1. Now, ice not detected. Temperature is high enough so we can get rid of our anti-ice now. We'll get the wipers on in just a second. In fact, maybe we can get them on now. Nope, we'll wait a little bit. The sounds kind of annoying, so we'll wait for a few till we get closer at least. to Paris Orly. Now I did set up this wing view. Should have a nice view of Paris, but in this weather, doesn't look like we are. We have got some pretty bad storms here. Oh right, so that's cloud slope and low clouds are set. So we'll go approach 2. And as we get to about 7 nautical miles away from the ILS, we're going to go gear down and we'll set 160.
2,500.
And the approach is 130. That's looking good. As you can see, we do have a crosswind, so looks like the meter from Navigraph wasn't particularly accurate. We are on live weather. Look at that. That does look very nice though. Very, very nice indeed. And we'll go gear down 160 flaps 2, and then we'll go flaps 3 as we get slower. We'll alert the cabin. Alrighty. 5 miles out. We'll go final approach speed. Just a little bit early, we don't have to worry about traffic or anyone behind us. Nope. What are you doing? Thank you, fly-by-wire, for that. No idea what's happening there. I'm gonna pull the speed brake out here, get a slow down. I have no idea why it decided to do that.
Please take your seat for launch.
No idea why I decided to go ahead and spool the engines up, but there it is. There's one runway, not our runway. Go flaps 3, stow the speed brakes here, rearm them, and let's get the wipers on. Alrighty, go flaps full. There's a runway in sight. So I'm going to disconnect there. My aircraft. And oh, it is windy, that is for sure. But, let's just follow this ILS down. We do have a slight crab, but it's only 6 knots. Coming from the left and at an angle. Oh, those runway lights do look good. This is just the default Paris Orly. Don't think I've ever flown here. There is approach lighting going through that building. That's interesting. Just a little bit high now. I think this is the first time flying here.
Minimum 50,
minimums
40, 30, 20, retard.
Cool.
5.
Alright, we are down. Fly the nose wheel down. Reverses out. And we will easily make this high speed exit here. There's 6 knots. We're going to stow the reversers there. Alright, and manual braking then. We'll take this high speed. Perfect, that is exactly what I was aiming for. I'm gonna get these wipers off. I can't stand the sound of the wipers.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety and comfort, please
right, got the lovely DX12 issue there. Perfect. And let's see where we're going. We're just going to take a sharp turn here. We are going to go flaps up. And we'll make a left turn just about here. And let's get the landing lights off. Nose light to taxi and strobe light can go off as well. Add a bit more thrust so we can make this turn. Transponder can go back to TA. I do like these announcements. Something like €7 extra, about £5 or something, £6 maybe. But very, very cool. I have set it to French. We do get the English and French, of course, since we are a French airline. And as we move about from airline to airline, we'll be changing that. So, flight director's landing system off on both sides. Let's not exceed 30 knots on this taxi. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit here. Let's take a look at Volanta. Definitely the wrong thing. Volanta. And let's take a look at our landing. Do we... So, minus 151 feet per minute at 121 knots. G 1.02. Perfect. And we didn't have much wind at all. So, that's a pretty good landing in my books. Absolutely spot on. We didn't float it too much. We did flare way too much. I'm used to the toeless and X-plane. But there you go. Wasn't too bad at all then. Let's see if we can find a stand. Again, I'm not familiar with this airport at all, so definitely going to be interesting. Going to try not to exceed 30 knots on the taxi, but we're okay. The Airbus does like to speed up without any thrust. Or sorry, I should say idle thrust. I'm just going to get the transponder completely turned off. Let's reset the rudder trim. And that's looking good. Now, we're probably, yeah, we're not going to have any... Oh, we do. We do have jetways. Amazing. Yeah, default airports in Microsoft Flight Sim are not as good as those in X-Plane, I will say. FSS LTL still doing its thing. Although we don't have any traffic injected here right now, which is interesting. Not sure why. But I think we're just going to go and park over here. So we are going to get the... When we turn off, taxi lights can go off. I hope that doesn't give us bad marks on... Because we might think we're still taxiing in without lights. But we don't want to blind the ground crew even. Now I do need to get a replay mod or something working with Microsoft Flight Sim. So if you have any suggestions, do let me know in the comments. Obviously Microsoft Flight Sim doesn't seem to have a sort of replay built in other than the one from developer mode, but that just doesn't work for me, so I have tried it. Just slowly taxi in here into the stand. I have no idea if this is a realistic stand. It does look to be a jetway in the building. And I'm going to go to outside view here and make a stop. Alright, that looks good. Let's set the parking brake. We didn't get the APU on. Whoops. But what we can actually do, let's just go external power. We don't need the APU in that case. Let's therefore go and get the engines switched off. And we'll get the jetway, baggage, catering. Beacon light can go off. Fasten seatbelt signs, no smoking signs off. Emergency exit lights off. At that point I am going to end the flight on Volanta, as you can see here. So let's review the flight then. And this needs changing to A320. My beautiful setup there. And if we go to, where do I get my landing info? Is it over here? I just switched to Volanta. So yeah, there is minus 151. It's pretty happy with that. As you can see, we were in a bit of a cell there, actually. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look here at Simbit World. So actually, let's go for full shutdown, and we'll see what it does. So I'm going to get the ADAs off. Let's get all the lighting off now. And I think at that point we're good to just hit the external power. Batteries are off. Alright, so just say post flight. So I think now we can go ahead and submit the flight. Yes. Your flight has been submitted. Amazing. Okay, so that's the next flight, so that'll be the next video. So I think if we go to logbook, and here is our flight. So if we go to details then, let's take a look at our score. And is that 100%? That is 100%. Oh yeah, this is what I'm going to show to the real life airlines when I go for my airline interviews. Look what I did in Simpit World. First flight, 100%. That is brilliant, and it's recorded the landing rate accurately. G-force is a little bit different to what Volanta said, but that's still perfectly fine. You can see our, I love this is pretty cool, our climb there, and you can see where we sort of had a bit of a step descent where we were holding there at flight level 110. This is pretty cool. I like here how you can see the indicated airspeed, and how as we climb here, the indicated airspeed doesn't really change a huge amount, but the true and the ground speed does change significantly, which is realistic. That's really, really cool. Very cool indeed. So we got 100 XP from that as well. So if we go here to dashboard now, let's take a quick look. So I guess we don't get paid until I think it's every Monday. There is one unread, bank account created. Okay, so we can mark that as red. Cool. Alrighty, well that's our first flight on Simbit World all done. If you do want to add me, name's just Drishal MAC2. As you can see, actually I do need to change that. I'm going to get rid of a space, so it's going to be Drishal and just MAC2, no space there. But I hope you all enjoyed that video. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you go to the schedule here, the next flight is going to be Berlin to Paris, Orly again, and it's about a 2-hour flight, so we're going to get that done as well. Hopefully within the next few days. I do want to try and be as consistent with the uploads on this. I'm going to plan for once a week, but I'm going to get some uploads done within the first few days, just to get some videos out there, and then it's going to be about once a week hopefully. Like I said, any suggestions, do let me know in the comments below. Do like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.